Years ago, before space travel was either near or real, writers were sending their heroes into orbit with their pens.
The Moons of Jupiter. Amalthea. I took a book with me to Amalthea, but never turned a page. It weighed like lead. I squatted with it like a grey image malleted into the rock, listlessly, reading, staring, rereading listlessly, sentences that never came to anything. My very memory lay paralyzed, with everything else on that bent moon, pulled down and dustbound, flattened, petrified by gravitation, sweeping Jupiter's more than half the sky with sentences half-formed that never came to anything. My tongue lay like a coil of iron. The planet never heard a word. What did I say there? My memory is paralyzed. The book has gone too. I know how it began, but that first sentence never came to anything. The local train, with its 3 coaches, pulled up at Newley Station at 4:30. The tons of pages never moved. My knees were tombs. And though slow Jupiter slid past, my memory of it is paralyzed. The stupid moon goes round. The local train with its 3 coaches pulled up at Newley Station at 4:30 never comes to anything. They rescued me with magnets, plucked me up like dislocated yards of groaning mandrake. The satellite engulfed the book in dust. Io. The sulfur mines on Io were on strike when we arrived. I can't say I'm surprised. 75 men had just been killed in the fiercest eruption ever seen there. I hardly recognized the grim volcano with its rakish new center and a leaning plume 200 miles high like an ash tree, someone said. Meanwhile, the landscape burned. Not that it never burned before, but this was roaring, sheeted, cruel. Empty, though not perfunctory, funeral rites had been performed. Not a body was found. The weird planetman's flute from friends in grief. My God, what a strange art it is, rising so many million miles from home into the raw, thin, cindery air, was the first sound we heard when we stepped from the ship. We saw the men huddled in knots, or walking slowly with bent heads over the pumice beds, or still and silent by the bank of the Red Lake. The laser probes, the belts, the brilliant console sat dark and motionless, crawled through by smoke, sulfur blue to choke the very soul. We prospected beyond the lava fields, but the best sulfurs the most perilous. The planetman must shoulder sorrow, great sacks of pain, in places with no solace but his own, and what the winds and days may bring. Europa. Boots and boats. In our bright orange gear, we were such an old-fashioned earthly lot. It seemed almost out of time phase. We learned or relearned how to skate and ski, use snowshoes, fish through ice holes, though not for fish. Soundings and samples were our prey. We'd never grayed in years, far less in weeks, the infinite play and glitter of watery Europa. Waters of crust ice, waters of deep ice, waters of slush, of warm subcrustal springs, waters of vapor, waters of water. One day, and only one, we drilled right down to something solid, and so solid hard the drill head screamed into the microphone and broke. The film showed streaks of metal shards whizzing across a band of basalt, or glimmery antediluvian turtle shell, or cast-off Titan miner's helmet, or... It must have been the metal scream that roused our thought and fear and half desire. We might have had a living scream returned. Lightly it sleeps, the imagination. On that smooth moon, men would be driven mad with many dreams, hissing along the hill-less shining wastes, or hearing the boat's engine chug the dark apart, as if a curtain could be drawn to let the living see even the dead, if they had once had life, if not that life. Ganymede. Galileo would have been proud of Ganymede. Who can call that marbled beauty dead? Dark basins sweeping to a furrowed landfall, gigantic bright-rayed craters, vestiges and veils of ice and snow, black swirling grey, grey veined with green, greens diffused in blues, blue powdered into white, a king marble rolled out and set in place, from place to place. We never landed, only photographed and sent down probes from orbit. Turbulence on Jupiter was extreme. There was no lingering. Is it beauty or minerals or knowledge we take our expeditions for? What a question. But is it what a question? Is it excitement or power or understanding or illumination we take our expeditions for? Is it specimens or experiments or spin-off or fame or evolution or necessity we take our expeditions for? We are here, and our sons or our sons' sons will be on Jupiter, and their sons' sons at the Stargate, leaving the fold of the sun. I remember I drowsed off, dropped my notes, with the image of Ganymede dancing before me. They nudged me, smiling, said it was a judgment for my wandering thoughts. What had got into me? That satellite had iron and uranium. We would be back. Well, that must be fine, I teased them. Had it gold and asphodel? Callisto. Scarred, cauterized, pocked, and warty face, you grin and gape and gawk, and cock an ear at us with craters, all blind, all deaf, all dumb, toed-back moon, brindled, brown and cold. We plodded dry-shod on your elephant-hide seas, and trundled gear from groove to groove, playing the record of your past, imagining the gross vales filled with unbombarded homes they never had till we pitched nylon tents there. Radiation falling by the ton, but days of meteorites long gone. Scatter the yellow awnings, amaze the dust and ochre. Frail and tough as flags, we furnish out the desolation. Even the greatest crater, gouged as if a continent had struck it, circled by rim on rim of ridges rippling, hundreds of miles over that slaty chaos, cannot forbid our feet, our search, our songs. I did not sing. The grave-like mounds and pits reminded me of one grave long ago on earth, when a high Lanarkshire wind whipped out the tears men might be loath to show, as if the autumn had a mercy I could not give to myself. listening in shame to the perfunctory priest and to my thoughts that left us parted on a quarrel. These memories and love go with the planetmen in duty and in hope, from moon to moon.
The asteroid arsenal's beefing up my courage. The lunar base burglars, sunspots burn you up. I'll be shooting stars at Mars, the planet murderer. My spaceship's flying. A red dwarf alliance, drying up the Milky Way's galactic pirates. Sub-die astronaut, my mind can't be rescued. I sniff stardust, manufactured off Neptune. I'm the cosmic gypsy, tipsy from plutonian whiskey. This freaky alien from Pluto gives me my soldiers from the solar. Roll on you rapper dreads, like I heard the asteroids. Face my magnetic space shower. My debris clashes Jupiter, heavyweight powers. All my forces are nuclear, so keep your cursed distance. Feel when I snap like a Venus penis trap from Mercury and back. I'm known by the kingpins in drug rings of Saturn. You mess with this space fog and something's gotta happen. So grab the Southern Cross if that's any constellations. Some space stations sell shit from Uranus, but they get demolished by the interstellar famous spaceman type from a section that's nameless. I'm the cosmic gypsy, welcome to my kingdom. The space is my wife and these planets are my children.
In my capsule, blast through green escape pod, floating on